Spoken to Games Master.
I don't. Why would you? They're so dry. I mean, that one's going to be really dry. That's going to suck moisture out of your body. But in general,
there's no give in that. There was no give.
No, but they're revolting. I'd draw you, if you like, a hierarchy of the licorice all sorts, and those are at the bottom. It sounds quite nice, doesn't it?
Sounds really good. Actually, when you pulled up, when you
not too much. That's the thing.
When you were foie gras-ing it with gasoline,
yeah,
I did think when you pulled in, it sounds.
It's just got a little burble.
It sounds louder than a Carrera S would normally.
Yeah, but it's not silly, and it's not. I mean, it does at low revs. It's sort of from the outside. It's a little bit of noise where it's like I feel like the neighbours hear me come home, but they hopefully don't think I'm a knob. Not for this reason, anyway. There's lots of other reasons.
They just
why
think you're a knob.
They do just think I'm a knob. So yeah, welcome. You've not been in this car before, have you?
No, I've never been in it. First of all, tell me about
911.
how does this fit into your car portfolio?
Portfolio. I got this because I've always wanted a 911 because, you know, sort of car journalism cliche, isn't it?
It is I hate the fact that it's a cliche, but it's very true. Although, I think that if people like Porsche 911s and hate Beetles, I think there's something wrong in their brain.
Well, no.
Yes!
That's like going, oh, well, if you hate Ford Cortinas, then you can't like the BMW 3 Series because they're both front-engine rear-wheel drive cars.
No.
Just because the layout
the DNA is far too close. Far closer.
Well, now I've driven Beetles and I'm driving this and I've driven other 911s and the overlap in characteristics is minuscule.
Well,
and I don't like Beetles.
Rewind time, obviously. Rewind the time back to a 50s Porsche and a 60s Porsche.
Yeah. Okay, I have driven a 356 last year, and I was thinking, oh no, this is just going to be a sort of brisk Beetle. And I remember my dad saying, my dad was not a fan of rear-engine Porsches, based on the fact that in the 60s he drove a 356 that a mate of his had, and he thought it just felt like a Beetle.
Yeah.
And I drove this 356 last year, and I thought it was absolutely delightful. It was really nice.
And what did you like about it?
It was little and plucky, and it just felt really. No, you're going to say this is like a Beetle. I know you
like a Beetle.
It felt really well engineered. It felt strong, sturdy, very precise.
Yeah, but ultra simple.
Yeah, there was a simplicity to it. Way more than this. All right.
What's your first 911 memory?
Disappointment.
Really?
Yeah, because I drove the first 911 I drove was a 996.
The first one you drove?
Yeah, in my first job on old Top Gear, and someone had borrowed one.
It was new then, was it?
Yeah, that was 98, I guess. Someone had borrowed one for the weekend. And when the guy came to pick it up, I said, "Oh, I'll take you round to the front of the building." And I drove it all the way up the sort of side from the back car park.
Yeah.
And then took it out onto the road deliberately. So I went, "Oh no, I better come round," and did it round. So admittedly, this was all of 5 minutes.
Elongated the drive.
But what struck me was it felt very ordinary.
Yeah.
But then I remember, I sort of, as I drove through a car park, thinking, "Oh, this doesn't feel very sort of sporty or anything. This feels like a normal car."
Were you expecting it to be flamboyant?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I got out onto the road and gunned it a bit, and then was quite taken aback by how it took off, like a scolded cock. But that wasn't. That was my first actual experience, and then I don't know, just sort of driven them a bit over the years. I remember driving 996 Turbo.
Yeah.
Just being really blown away by how quick it was.
A friend of mine came to my wedding in a 993 Turbo, which is now worth about £14 million or something.
Yes.
Yeah. It wasn't then. It was worth a reasonable amount, but not telephone numbers. I think that's the thing that upsets me more than anything else, is the fact that I don't want everybody else to like them as much.
Yeah.
And in the last 5 years, it's gone crackers.
It has got pace.
I've missed the boat, and I suppose, being selfish, I'm annoyed that I've missed the boat.
You could still get a 996 though, like
Yeah.
a really simple 996 Carrera manual. And
Yeah.
I bet that would be a lovely car, particularly because there's things you can sort of do to tighten it up a bit if you so want.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Fundamentally, I bet it would feel, compared to the new stuff particularly, and maybe even compared to this.
A very old lady driving
Was
an
it?
SL. Very old. Did you not see the hair?
No, I was too busy looking at the car.
All right, there's a lot of old lady hair in that car. Is this the last of the cars before the Panamera style flight deck?
Yeah, because then they went to 991.
Yeah.
You sound like such a nerd talking about Porsches, don't you? Because you have to do it all in code.
Well, you do
They're as bad as
now.
BMWs.
It's because it gets all a bit Luftkulty or whatever they call it.
Yeah, well, you have to. This has got.
Is this the A1?
Yeah, we've accidentally got onto the A1. It's really old school, normally aspirated.
Sounds great.
It builds. You've got to work for it a little bit.
Work it.
Work it. Well, that's what I like. It's like, actually, it's sort of more satisfying. It's not as quick as the new generation turbocharged 911s because they just sort of get up and fuck off from any revs pretty much because the turbos are so good and so well installed. There's not much lag, if any, and then it just torque and it's gone. And this is like, oh, you've got to.
I've never been a massive fan of modern 911 turbos, if I'm totally honest. And people say, you know, at Plato's like, why? How can you not be impressed? I said, I'm impressed with it because it's devastatingly quick. But the problem is, it's a bit of a sort of PlayStation point and shoot for me. It's a bit of a just point it that way and fire it.
Yeah.
And it will just. I mean, a Turbo S is an absolute misguile, but I don't want one, and it's more expensive than the ones I actually want.
This has, on that note, 375 horsepower.
Yeah.
And so it actually has less horsepower than my Jag I-Pace family car, which is sort of
That's in your
interesting
portfolio.
in itself. That's also in the portfolio, yes. It's leather bound. But I think it's rare that I'm sort of going, I wish this had more power.
Right.
It's about right.
Yeah.
There's two things about this car that are about right. The power is about right for the modern world, because if you're raging around the place much faster than this will go,
Yeah.
something might go wrong. But the other thing about this, the other reason why I really like this, because I did look at some sort of leggy 991s, the neck shape, and
Yeah.
the Panamera dash,
Yeah.
but before they got the turbo engine. Could live with the electric steering, I'm sure. But then, one of the things that put me off is, they're quite big.
They are.
This is a little car.
I don't really like the pan flight deck in a 911. Don't really want it in a 911. It feels too luxo for me.
It's funny, isn't it? Yeah.
It feels too. Because this is the thing. My wife has never been impressed with 911s because, like you, she gets in them. I think the first one she would have got in is probably a 996 or a 997, an early 997, and just gone, what, is that all you get? And it's supposed to be a sports car. And again, it was that whole thing where she was expecting it to be a real theatre, and the theatre is sitting there.
Yeah.
Well, and, you know, my ears hearing back there.
Yeah, no,
If you don't get that, and you don't...
they're kind of all business, aren't they, which I like.
Yeah.
But you know what I like about this one, in terms of the interior?
Yeah.
This is a bit of an anomaly in Porsche terms, because you know Porsche ergonomics are all a bit zany all
They
the
are.
time.
They shouldn't work.
This is the most logical interior of any Porsche I can think of. Because even those old air-cooled ones, they haven't got much stuff in them. There's sort of a little bit of bonkersness where, like, you can't find, you know, the one that does the rear wiper or something.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's like hidden somewhere.
It's
in
a
the glove
plunger
box.
under there.
And
you've got the floor-mounted pedals.
Yeah,
and
well
all that
this,
stuff.
and the 996 was a bit batty and just I don't particularly care for the interior in those. This is super logical.
Yeah.
It's really easy to use.
Yeah, and it's all the
And it's
tech
all
is
there.
focused
Yeah.
into a small space.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing going on here but the rem. You've got a manual wand,
Yeah.
and I know you've gone for the PDK presumably because you're a city man. Or Or is it just because you want faster shifts, 0 to 62?
Well, I'll be honest.
Or are you lazy?
I am lazy, but that's not why. I knew I wanted, and sort of was in budget to get a 997 Generation 2 with a direct injection engine.
Yeah.
It's an engine that doesn't suffer. Well, this road's a bit bumpy, isn't
This
it?
road's active. This is an active road. Have you got PASM?
Yeah. So I've left, I always, even on roads, well, particularly on roads like this, I leave the dampers in the soft setting. It's too hard in the hard setting.
Yeah.
In the soft one, it's coping the ride at this. This is speed. The ride is quite nice.
Challenging surface.
It's a challenging surface.
Challenging surface.
It really is challenging.
You have to say things like that out of the corner of your mouth. It's a challenging surface.
She's coping with it well. You're going to be a total prick. I knew that this was sort of probably what I wanted. I couldn't decide, did I want a manual or a PDK?
Yeah.
Because you know, it's a driver's car.
Yeah.
PDK because I live in London.
And do you do that? I mean, you actually do use it a fair amount.
Yeah, at the moment I'm not going many places, but my wife's just using it to commute to because it's good to use it. If you don't use it, the battery goes flat. So no, we use it as a normal car. And I thought, well, PDK is just bad for that. I'll be honest, this is like first generation PDK, and it's not as happy in traffic as newer ones. It feels like it slips the clutch a bit too much. If you've got any mechanical sympathy, you sort of go, oh, so you sort of find yourself leaving bigger gaps between the car in front if you're just crawling in traffic. But it's okay.
Does Mrs. Porter enjoy 911 driving, or does she just do it because she has to, because you bought it and she's borrowing it?
Well, because it was always the deal when I went, I think I'm going to go and buy a 911. Because I bought this because our daughter was born and I wasn't working for a bit, but I had a lot of time on my hands because babies sleep a lot. And I was able to devote more attention to perusing the classics.
Seriously, that's not a reason.
Well, yeah, that was my reason. And then it was also, obviously it's wrapped up in just having a midline crisis of some sort, of course, because it's a Porsche.
And you knew you had another book deal.
Did I? I might have done. Yeah.
So you saw safety blanket, financial safety blanket.
Well, there's obviously, with us, the good thing about, because I also briefly thought about, I could get an F-Type. F-Types are coming down in price now. I love an F-Type.
Yeah.
But two things that are no good about an F-Type is that an F-Type's come down, but it's going to keep coming down. And also, there are only two seats.
And we both have two kiddies.
Yeah, and one of the many ways I justified this car to myself and my wife is
that
we can put the kids in the back.
I love that.
Yeah, and you genuinely can.
Two little dens back there with belts, and I love that. I've taken my nephews out. I've taken one of my kids out in a 911. Remember when my daughter was very young? I had a 997 Targa on loan.
Yeah.
And she absolutely loved it. She loved it, and I loved it too. And I didn't want to give it back. But it annoyed me that you can't buy a two-wheel drive Targa anymore.
Oh yeah.
I find that grates. That grates for me because I like the Targa roof, but I don't like the fact that you can't buy a two-wheel drive one.
Yeah. I think they say that.
Silly pheasant.
They just believe that people who buy the Targa are the kind of people who might go skiing or some weird excuse.
It is, isn't it? The marketing will say nobody wants a two-wheel drive. There's an assumption of lifestyle there.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's funny because they give you so much other choice. There's so many variants of 911, so many types you can get.
So when you bought this, you already had the Defender.
Yeah.
Which you still have.
And we had that Merc SUV, that GLC as a family car, so obviously it's not that we didn't need this in any shape or form. We already had the same number of cars as we had adults in the family. I just sort of wanted it, and I know I'm going to annoy pigeons. Oh my god!
One just dropped a stone on you.
What a bastard!
It's not like they can't hear you coming. Because that's the problem with an electric car. You have to really let birds know.
Yeah,
especially pheasants. No, I don't let people know. They have to learn.
So yeah, I just decided that I really wanted one of these, and I knew that my wife was an unusual child for a little girl, that she had, along with sort of pictures of Corrie Haim and stuff on her bedroom wall, she had a picture of a Porsche it's, what do you reckon?
And did she ever go, but you've already got that and you've already got that, so what? Or not?
Well, no, because there was a part of it that was going, ooh, I could actually have a 911. So
Nice.
yeah, when I kind of then went, right, I'm going to look at this car, and then I FaceTimed my wife from the garage and went, look, here it is. And I think at that point she knew the jig was up. She's like, you're going to buy it, aren't you? And I was like, yes. But the deal always was, if I buy a 911, you'll be on the insurance, you can buy it, you can drive it too.
Yeah.
And then for about a year, she was like, I don't know, I'm a bit nervous about it, I don't want to ding it or something.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let's go out one day, the pair of us, and you can drive and I'll be with you, so if there's anything, you can't find the button for somewhere, but
yeah,
I'll just be here, so you're not having to sort of think about too much stuff at once.
Yes.
And that never came until we finally had someone to look after the kids, and we went away for a weekend, for a night in the country, and she drove back. And by that point, I got used to it being my car.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe she won't enjoy it. In some ways, it doesn't feel like other cars. We've got a sort of steering can feel quite heavy. I think we're probably used to something like that, and it's there's no real slack in it.
No. But does she like it now?
Well, after she'd driven it for a bit the first time, I went, how are you getting on with it? She went, I fucking love this car. And that was it. I knew then, I was like, aha, okay, so...
She's got the bug.
Yeah,
the bug.
But that was in the countryside.
Oh, okay.
Commuting in it, I think she's not so keen, because you're not using it the way
You can't
that
stretch its legs, can you? Can't thread it through the countryside like you're doing right now, Rich.
I'll tell you what, as well, the other thing about this, I know people who don't get 911s, that just go, oh, it's the beta, are twats and balls, but what people who understand and get them is they get the fact that there's always stuff going on, and there's always stuff to find out.
Yeah.
If you drive this car in quite a heavy-handed way, it can feel a bit shit. And I've realised it's proper soft hands on the wheel, and you guide it through like this, and then it really comes alive, and it's beautiful.
It's great. Well,
you've got that thing that because the engine's over the back wheels, and modern tyres and stuff. I mean, they're not as twitchy as legend has it. They haven't been for ages. And what you do get instead is you get that brilliant thing where you sort of slow in fast out on a corner, and as you come to the out bit of the corner and you step on it, it just sort of sits down and launches itself out. I bloody love all of that stuff. And then
give me, list me. Yes. I'm at the point where my virtual 911 bike, I've quelled it slightly, but it changes a lot. In the last 5 or 6 years, I'd say it's changed a lot. If someone said to me, what 911 would you buy now? You've got to buy a 911, what would you buy? I don't know, you've got to cap the finances.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is money no object, or are we?
No, I think money is object. I think you can't buy a brand new car for a long while, because I always, and this is the thing about a 911 that's different to a lot of other cars in its genre, I think of a 911 as a car I'm going to use on a very regular basis. I don't think of it as a car I'm going to mothball because it's too good at being an everyday car.
They don't like it.
No.
You leave this for a few days, it goes to sleep mode, the central remote locking won't work, you have to open it on the key.
Really?
And then remember to push the button before opening the door or the alarm goes off. Anyone who's ever had one of these knows that routine. But it's only a few days before it goes to sleep mode.
Right.
And then...
So it's basically saying,
not many,
just use me.
Yeah, not many longer days than if your battery's not in tip-top health, it'll just flatten its battery. They're very battery hungry when they're left for some reason.
See,
and they're meant to be used.
I for a long time, and I still probably would, I like a 99.
There was some crud on the road back there, and not to be a steering feel bore, but
did you feel it?
Just felt it felt it go slightly light, because it's just lost a little bit of grip there, because there was just a slimy bit on the road. And it's just, it's just part of what makes this a likeable and quite distinctive car.
997
feel like this.
I've always liked the 997s, and when I drove the GT3 for the first time. It totally blew me away. I really, really enjoyed it.
That might be my favourite car of all time.
Really?
997 Gen 2 GT3 RS.
Yeah.
It's just...
Actually, not even the RS. The one I drove at the time, I remember, had some very fond memories of it, was just the GT3, but it just felt so good, and I could still use it loads, and I did. You know, I really rinsed it I had it for about 7 days.
That's the thing, the RS, because Porsche UK have still got an RS in their heritage fleet, and I borrowed it, and that's a bit less every day because it's got the aggressive seats and no stereo and all that.
That's
but
right.
I did still drive the shite out of it because it's just so nice, and that was actually what pushed me into this.
Is it?
Yeah.
See, I keep looking back going, my kids would still fit in there, and I know they'd love it.
Yeah, well that's the thing, you've got some leeway as well, because if you just had the cash, you'd go, okay, when the kids get a bit bigger, there's a little bit more room in the back of a 991, so I can upgrade to one of those. Albeit it's a bigger car.
Are you future-proofing your sports car life?
Well, it's already in my head that that's one way I could go with this if I had the cash.
Yeah.
Because the 991s are going to come down a bit now, obviously, because there's a new 992 out. But yeah, but for the time being, my kids will go in this. And so it's practical. There's also another thing, that boot at the front, you can get a weird amount of stuff in there.
Well, it's really
deceptive.
deep.
It's really deep. You look at it and go, well, it's not a very big hole, but it's deep, and you can. I went away with some mates, just went away for the weekend to a cottage in the country, boys' weekend away, and I was the first to arrive, so I went, I'll go to the supermarket and I'll get supplies in, lads, don't you worry, because everyone else is going to be late.
Yeah.
And I went to a big Sainsbury's and I bought enough groceries for 4 blokes having a weekend away. So you imagine, I mean, the bricks of beer and the cheap crisps and stuff, and the cheap meat. And I had my overnight bag and walking boots and all sorts in the front, and so I've stuffed the front full, and then
and then you've got
I didn't even have to have anything in the passenger seat. It's just like there's a lot, and those, there's another thing that 911s is great is they you can flip those flat, and there's a shelf that you can put a chisel on as well. So it's a practical car.
Well, it's a good.
Genuinely is a practical car.
It's a good Le Mans camping car.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you want to do a sort of sports car drive road trip, but you've actually got to carry a load of stuff, and that's where the F-Type wouldn't win.
No, you can't. Unfortunately, although I love those F-Types.
The Cayman's an absolute demon for that, actually. To its credit, the Cayman's got loads of storage. Obviously, it's 2-seat, but it's.
Yeah, I can't really imagine the Caymans now, but I guess they
do.
But this has got space. It's bizarre. I mean, I wouldn't, good news, we're taking the whole family down to the Loire Valley for 2 weeks camping. I don't think you can do that, but there's a lot you can do.
Well, how often do you actually go out as a fam in it? A fam of 4?
Oh, we don't. We've never been out as a family of 4, just because my daughter's small enough that she's one of the really big seats, so I've never put her in here. But my boy, he can just go back there.
Yeah. Does he prefer this to the Defender?
I don't know, actually. The Defender might just tip it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's a good...
I haven't asked him recently because we haven't been out in this for ages, just because I have been using the Defender a bit.
Very, very stark contrast of vehicles in one's portfolio.
That's
so
it.
Got
I feel like
I've
got a good squad together now.
Yeah, so I-Pace.
Yes. Smooth, modern, futuristic, electrical.
Very late Defender.
Noisy, slow, classic, lovable, off-roady.
Yes, muddy diamond.
Yes.
That's not a euphemism either. This. What else have you got? You got another car, haven't you? Or you don't? That's 3 very different cars.
But it's good. They're complementary, aren't they?
Yeah.
What do you need to do today? Just need to do some short runs in town. Take the electric car.
Yeah.
Where are you going? I'm going to the Lake District today on a long trip on my own.
Yes.
Take the 911.
Yeah.
The Defender. Well, I mean, you can do all that in that, but it's just
Just depends if you want to rock up with backache.
I don't really feel the backache.
You're immune to all of the Defender foibles.
Oh, do you know what? I'm going to just one Sunday I'll suddenly get like a sciatica, and that'll be it. I won't be able to drive this either.
You're a defensive Defender.
Normal seats. by the way. And
I like these.
They are. I think they're terrific seats because I've done big miles in this, just, you know. So I have been up to the Lake District in it, and I have been up to North Yorkshire and stuff. And yeah, you can do big miles in this, and it don't hurt you.
I do like this little tray, which I forgot about.
They have a funny little tray there, yes.
Little sill tray.
Never quite sure.
Which I put my collection of keys and my phone, because I don't want them in my pocket when I'm sat down. And it's rather nice.
I would say that's one thing about this car that's doesn't cover it in glory. It's not great on storage space for little things. I mean, it's okay, your phone goes there.
What have we got there?
Well, inexplicable, not an ashtray, but probably, I don't know. It's like, you could put a pen in it.
Is it a pen? Is it a quill?
Why would you have a pen? Yeah, yes, you can dip ink in it if you need to make some notes. You've got old school tabloids there.
But if you put like some coins in there, you might not ever get them out again.
Can I talk you through some details in this car as well, which are your classic Porsche, you don't get something for nothing.
Come on, talk to me.
This body colour thing, that was an option. I don't know how much it was, but it was an option. I think extended leather.
Extended leather?
I think that you didn't get a full leather dash for standard. I think you had to pay more for
You've got the stopwatch.
Sport Chrono,
yeah.
And then it buys you. So, because this is a P2K gearbox, you've got your Sport, and then you can put it in Sport Plus, it just makes the changes even quicker.
Oh.
And then your PASM dampers as well.
We've all had issues with our PASMs.
And but then also, one of the other things that drew me to this car particularly is that the previous owner had fitted this steering wheel. It's a nicer looking wheel in itself, but it comes with the proper paddles.
What? The original car came with nodules?
Remember, they came with little
nodules.
Buttons, cack.
I hadn't noticed that until...
These weren't available when this was new, but he had it retrofitted. It's about 800 quid to have it done.
Seriously?
He'd done it. He'd also done something else which showed me that he was a man whose jib I could admire the cut of. The front intakes, they're normally quite open. Leaves go in there.
Yeah, they do.
Wet leaves, they wrap themselves around the aircon system, pipes and stuff, and then slowly rot them, and then you've got a big bill to sort them out.
Yeah.
And he had fitted some very nice aftermarket, but look kind of factory mesh over the front intakes to stop that problem happening.
Did you ever meet this man?
No, but I'd love to, because I sort of go... Well, this had two owners, I think. I don't know which of the owners did this stuff.
This is an Irish car, isn't it?
Yeah. It's first registered, it's bought in from Porsche Belfast.
So I think if I was going to buy a 911, the GT3 Touring that's around, it's a lovely car, but it doesn't have a back seat, right?
No.
And apparently there is no way of putting one back in it, because that was my first thought.
Yeah, because I think there's the floor pan back there a different shape.
There's something going on back there which won't allow. So I'd either try and build a seat back into it, but at vast, stupid cost.
Using garden
for
furniture.
no worthy reason.
Yeah, it's a good point actually, that, because I love the GT3 generally. I think the Touring. I know some people think, oh, you might as well go the whole hug and have the wing, but I really like the low.
I do. I'm
the
not.
Low style.
I appreciate a really big winged, wide, bloated arch Porsche, but for me, I would rather have a non-winged example. A 993 is a car which I've always fancied.
964s I find myself looking at a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe
they're all singers now.
Yeah.
They're all singers.
They're really expensive. They used to be, you couldn't give them away.
Yeah.
I wish I'd brought 7 and put them in a warehouse, but now they're like sort of 50, 60 grand cars, and you kind of go,
yeah.
Really?
And are they that good?
That's what I don't get with 911 Mania. It feels like it's gone so manic that there's actually lots of people who just like, sort of, they've become like the equivalent of sort of craft beer, where you sense that they've become too fashionable and people who don't actually like them are buying them and then not enjoying them.
Well, they're buying them because they're being told to buy them, and that's always a dangerous territory. People, I get people. I'm sure you get people going, I quite fancy a Porsche. In other words, I'm not really into them. I quite fancy one immediately. You're like, oh, okay. And they go, which one should I buy that will be a safe bet? And it's like, no, buy
the one that you like.
Buy what you like. Because like, I wouldn't buy a 4-wheel drive one, because personally, I just don't want one. I've never really wanted a 4 or a 4S or a turbo.
I except the 991 Turbo S, which was just so fast and so mad that I actually really liked it.
It was so damn fast.
You know what's funny about this car, because I'm happy enough with the Peter K gearbox, and I think sometimes when you're really on it and you're blasting along and it does those really snappy, quick changes.
That's when it's in its element.
It's in its element, and sometimes it is in a weird kind of way. It is actually satisfying. You know, because it's not satisfying a manual gearbox. It's kind of true, but timing a change and it going like that,
and it just smacks in.
Yeah, they're also thunkier at full chat, and I know they've put that in deliberately.
Okay.
Even full chat, it's not smack in the back of the head thumpy most of the time, and I think it's because that's as good as they can make it. And I think that what they've done,
that's the German way,
is they've gone, actually people want a bit of, see, look, I mean there's a thud, it's not brutal in the way that if you drive some stuff now, it really in sport mode deliberately sort of kicks you in the back, and they're doing that deliberately to make it feel more of an event, more dramatic as it changes gear. And I'm sort of a bit like, I don't know how I feel about that. It does actually make it more exciting. This is almost sort of too good in that circumstance. But
do you like the 7-speed manual?
It got good, but the early ones were a bit hard to get into gear sometimes. You ever tried?
Yeah.
On the 991s? Yeah, I don't know.
When they came out, it was such a big deal.
Yeah. So, it's a hard one, isn't it? I think overall, because all the times when you're just coming back from somewhere late at night, you're working on a motorway, but then you get stuck in a bit of traffic or something. It's quite nice to have this, but if I had the manual, I wouldn't cry. I still oscillate.
It's not a bad quandary to be in, is it? I can afford a 911. Do I go 2-pedal? Do I go 3-pedal? Well, unless it's one of the early Tiptronic type, in which case I'd rather
that's the thing.
I'd rather try some self-circumcision with a pair of blunt nail scissors. And they're always the ones that come up for sale cheap. A 997 Tiptronic convertible. Yeah. And you just go, right, where's that anvil I'm going to drop on my car?
Have you noticed that sometimes when you go on like Car and Classic or something and you're looking at ads for old 911s, as I often do, even though I have this. And,
oh, you sad man.
And well, I do, because I'm looking at 964s and things like that. I'm going, I'd love to add a bit of air cooling to my portfolio. And the ads where they obviously quite carefully bury the fact it's got the fucking auto gearbox way down in the text. You're going, it'll sort of go, I think the 964s look great in red. Yeah. It'll go red, black leather interior, only 78,000 miles, quite low for the age, quite immaculate condition, full Porsche history from new, coupe, UK supplied car. Yes, tell me more about 2-wheel drive. Come on, give it to me. What is it? Oh, it's an auto.
But
bollocks.
But I have to say, I get asked a lot, and I'm sure you do because of the industry we work in. What's your favourite car ever? What's your favourite car?
Yeah.
And I can't really answer it because I never entirely know. But I always change their question. I go, what's the best looking car of all time? Oh, the best looking car of all time is, and I'll always say a Porsche 356.
Really?
Always.
The track's a bit narrow.
Yeah, but it's just
that. Would you say it's true of E-Types then?
Yeah, it is. My brother always thinks the E-Type looks shit because the wheels are so inboard. But
those racing E-Types, when the wheels are outboard, a bit more out to it, the arches always do look mega.
Yeah,
it's true.
And I say the 356 is just the prettiest shape drawn.
I don't doubt they are. They're sweet little cars. Sweet cars.
Sweet car. Yes.
See, that's the thing. It's a quick enough car. How much quicker do you want to go?
Do you know the stats on this particular model?
I can't remember them.
Isn't it funny how?
But that's weird. I can't remember them. It's my car.
No, but I can't remember the stats on my own cars anymore. I remember stats on other cars instead.
Is it just under 5 to 60? That sounds fast, but it's not a slow car.
No, it's not a slow
It does
car.
about 170, not that it's particularly relevant.
On a private road, how fast have you driven it?
At 70 miles an hour, because that's the speed limit.
Of a private road?
Private, yeah.
I know, private
Still
road.
70, because it would be dangerous. Let's go faster. But,
See, if you were a YouTuber, you would have bought this as you've bought it, having gone to great lengths to find the exact spec
yeah.
and presumably liking the colour. But then you'd instantly do a video saying, guys, I just don't know what colour to change my car to.
I'd have wrapped this 3 times by now.
I don't know what spec should I change it to. It's like, well, why don't you just buy the one you want in the first place? You goo. Absolute goo.
Well, it's almost as if you're just mithing around with nonsense to create more videos.